Hey, it is your buddy Peace and Harmony with you here today. We're zooming in and focusing in a little bit more in depth in terms of understanding emotional manipulation from a malignant narcissist or a psychopath. Someone who has a pathological sense of self-importance. Someone who has a sense of entitlement. A feeling that they always are right. An intolerance of other people's opinions. An inability to listen. A lack of empathy, an empathy deficit where they're not able to understand, embrace, and respect other people's feelings, needs, wishes, and desires. They don't see it. It does not exist for them. It doesn't hold water. It doesn't hold relevance. It doesn't hold significance. And they tend to not treat people very well, even people who they are quote unquote close to. They show severe hatred. A viewer brought this up, and it is very, very important for you to understand the role of hatred and how it is expressed and the why and its impact and damage that it has upon a very vulnerable mental mindset such as yourself. And to realize the reason why. Hatred is an intolerance or an inacceptability of another. So in other words, it's oftentimes it's fueled by fueled, meaning it has different tangents or feeders, if you will, of other emotions, particularly that of envy and jealousy. And a narcissist or a psychopath, even though they outwardly appear to have it all, be it all, look it all, say it all, have a status job, status religion, status clothes, status car, money on top of money on top of money on top of money, oftentimes these people inside, they're very discontented people. They are not accepting or tolerant of others. Because of their lack of empathy, they do not have an ability to listen and sort of look and have a sentience, meaning a feeling for the human condition or others. For example, they do not hurt when others hurt. They do not feel a sense of mourning when others mourn. They don't have a capacity to experience that. So then there is the projection of this hatred onto others, particularly those who possess the very qualities with which they're envious or jealous of. And it gives them a sense of power or control if they can then deprive you of your happiness. It's very much like they're feeding off of that energy in a very sort of very sick, some people call it evil, unhealthy way. Unhealthy, I mean, it's literally taking the energy away from you. And it's very important that you get away because this is a reality. People become severely, severely damaged mentally, emotionally, psychologically. And it is horrific to think that another would take pleasure out of downing or hurting another. I am non-violent. I do not eat meat. Okay, you can watch all sorts of shows with people eating meat and this and slaughtering. That is not going to be me. But anyway, so the role of the hatred is they're feeling that they derive a satisfaction over controlling other people. Now, myself, I don't feel that. That is not a drive for me. To help others, yes. To support others, yes. To help inspire and educate and inform, yes. To have power over others and control, that does not do anything for me. To me that it's a non issue or a non-desire, a non-situation. I do not take pleasure from overpowering or hurting others, or feeling like I'm better than. Like that is not what I believe in or engage in. So what you are experiencing is someone who is satisfying an insatiable desire within themselves to have power over others. So it's an on all the time situation. and it does not get better with time. If in the beginning of the relationship you needed someone, a shoulder to lean on, a shoulder to cry on, someone to help guide you, someone to be strong and secure and, carry you away like the wind or the sun or whatever, maybe this was your parent, but realize that, that was then, that person took advantage of that and created an unhealthy dynamic where they could use you and use you like fuel to their fire of rage and hatred and jealousy, so they would consume you for that purpose. It's very sick. It's very sadistic. I don't always like to think about it when it gets that severe, because it is that severe and it's that horrible. I mean, it is horrible to me. And if you are encountering that, realize it is the hatred towards you that is reflected back has nothing to do with you or the quality of person that you are. The hatred has everything to do with trying to, take you down and really dismantle you from your joy. And you really, really need to stay away from these types of people who engage in this hate, who engage in this control, who engage in this manipulation, because, they will latch onto some people and sabotage them and scapegoat them and almost make it like their life mission to take them down, as if they feel like they have conquered something. And when you talk about horrific things of violation of boundaries, sexual abuse and exploitation of children, I mean, it is horrific what some of these narcissistic, malignant, and psychopathic people do. They drive an energy from it, just the way a foodaholic will eat a chocolate and they say, take the dish away, I can't stop myself. The way that someone who is an alcoholic cannot put down the bottle. I mean, one drink is too much and the whole bottle is never enough. I mean, it's just, they cannot control themselves. So it has nothing to do with you. If you have felt hated, if you have felt guilty for living, guilty for being independent, having your own interests, having your own desires, smiling, laughing, wanting to love this person, and then you are meant to feel embarrassed for wanting love because this person cannot reciprocate. They cannot give it back. They cannot give that which what they don't have. It is horrific. It is disgusting. It's a terrible thing to have been banging your head on the door or the wall for years or decades, and you realize, wow, banging my head on the wall, can this be true? Especially if you are not used to believing in yourself and trusting your feelings. If this is a whole new thing to say, I am, and experience and trust your feelings, this is going to be difficult because it is new. It is not familiar. You are not used to believing in your feelings and believing in your drive and believing in your needs and your human rights. It's like Rosa Parks in the United States, who basically, stood up on the bus and was in Montgomery, Alabama, and was like, I am not riding on the back. She was just like, there's no chains here. Who are you feeding me this? And she just confronted a whole movement, and she had that breaking point. I want you to also have that breakthrough moment where you realize that this has just been meant and is a message to reinforce something which is meant to power this person, and it has nothing to do with your lovability, your kindness, your generosity, your heart. See, they're going to try to blacken your heart. They're going to try to dim your light, darken your heart. I know we have a lot of viewers here who are going through some very, very difficult times. And I'm here to tell you unequivocally, you can and will make it through. You need to work the tools. But number one, you need to adopt the ability to believe in yourself. This is esoteric, I know, but hopefully this makes sense to you. To believe in yourself. In other words, Celine Dion, the heart goes on. Your heart is going on. The heart will go on. It's time to set voyage. It's time to set sail. Yes, it might be choppy. The wind is getting cold. you know, it's a big boat and you don't know your place on it yet, but on the boat you must put your foot and you must surrender and allow that to take you away from this person. Because if you stay around this person, it's not good for them either, because they are beside themselves. They have found someone to abuse. Don't be that person. Don't be that punching bag. Don't be that target where they fling the arrows and the needles and whatever it is that they're flinging your way, the fire, the mud, the flaming torches, whatever it is that they're throwing at you and lambasting and trying to destroy you and get you into that reactive state, you know, where you're explaining to explain and justify, you know, your reason for this, your reason for that. I mean, it's almost comical, you know, when you look at all the insults that they hurl. I mean, it really is coming from a source of discontent. And that discontent is within the person themselves. It is not within you. You are not the one that's flawed. There is you are around a very discontented energy that is projecting that discontent upon you. And that's when you come back, look at your pimple, look at your hair, look at your this. Oh my God, you know, you have a line on your neck. You know, let's scrub that off. You know, it's coming from a complete unreality and trying to change you. But see, even upon changing people, they are never satisfied. It's coming from a very deep and dark place, which you don't want to go to. I mean, and if you've been there, it's time to say, whoa, you know, it's time to get out the treasure map, and it's time to get the pen to paper, and it's time to, you know, find a new course now. We need to make a new map. You better get some coloring sticks. You better start looking at the prettier places in life, the more fulfilling places in life, and the people and the sounds and the events, and celebrating life. And because those people are not celebrating life, it's a discontent. And so I hope you really are able to grasp in this video the why and the how and how the experience is. And furthermore, to realize that it's nothing to do with you. You need to separate from this energy totally. As painful as that news might be, as sick as illogical as it sounds, as horrible as it is why would God do this? Why would God do that? Why would life put me this challenge? Why would they give me this lesson? Because it's a lesson. And it's time to open the book, get through the bad chapters, and get onto the good chapters, because the good chapters are coming up. You have to keep turning the pages. You have to, you know, realize that it's time to put one foot in front of the other, even if it hurts. Walk on the coals, you know. It's time to start getting away. So even if your first step is to get away, your first step is to get away. Then you got to put one foot in front of the other, and you got to keep your head up, and you have to keep looking and looking ahead. And do not try to think and analyze this person and how they think and the why. I mean, just begin to detach the focus from there and live in detachment, and really kind of focusing and surrendering more on the more warm, fuzzy, pleasant, gorgeous experiences that are waiting for you and there to fill up your life in that hole that they had created in you, because that they take a very sort of ownership over people if they can destroy them like that. It's very predatory, and very much, if you ever watch you know, predatory movies where a lion is killing a gazelle, they are, you know, animals of prey, birds of prey. There are people of prey who prey on others. And even though this might have the name of mother, father, brother, sister, aunt, teacher, neighbor, boss, oh, that's a whole nother topic. You know, being the boss, that, you know, we're not gonna go there right now, but in future videos, whoever's label this is, and however much those two components don't go together, like mom and psychopath, dad and psychopath, psychopath and my husband, psychopath and my wife. I mean, you don't want that to be in the two phrases of one sentence, you know, or malignant narcissist. It is not good. And even though you might be the type of person who wants to help, heal, be there, make amends, let's work on this, let's do this, I'll deal with that. I mean, you're basically coming up against a hole that gets deeper and darker the more you kind of focus on it, or the more you try to have a relationship with it, and the more you get them more beside themselves, so it exasperates their condition. So it's kind of like, it becomes a trigger that, they are repeating, like, because they can't change. They don't have the ability to adapt and change through empathy and desire or need, etc. There is no, they might quiet it down, but then boom, you're going to get the larger explosion, and you're going to be like, okay, I got it now. See you later. I don't care if my knapsack is 2 pounds. I'm going away, and then you get it. And the longer you put it off, the worse it gets. So I would encourage you to understand what we have discussed in this video, take it to heart, have resolve, move forward, and know that a wonderful, glorious, warm, fuzzy, pleasant life is awaiting you. You just need to keep on the path. It is your buddy, Peace and Harmony, with you here today, and I hope that these videos do help. Please share and please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support.